Hey everybody, it's Dee Dee back again with another video. Today I'm going to do a wrap up of January and a couple of short reviews. I read 7 books this month. I started off really good, and then it just sort of went down and up and down and up towards the end. First book, of course, I'm going to talk about really briefly is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Okay, as you know that I haven't read Harry Potter fully yet, and this is the first book, and I absolutely, totally enjoyed it. Thumbs up, thumbs up. I can't wait to get on to the second one and the third one and all the others, because it's just a really great series. I can thoroughly understand why people love it so much. And I can remember when this came out, I can remember seeing people in Paris on the metro, adults and kids, with their faces stuck in Harry Potter, reading it on the train, in the metro, everywhere. I can thoroughly understand why people like it. It's a great start to a pretty fabulous story. So, to be continued on the rest. Next book I read was Cutting for Stone, which I already did a review for that. I'll link it in the description box below. This is a great book if you've not read it. Really wonderful read. It's about Ethiopia and about being a doctor. But really great story. It's a bit long, but I read it, I think I read it in 4 days. I read it in 4 days. It's pretty captivating story. You just want to know what's going to happen next. You can't help keep reading. It's impossible to put it down for too long. So it's a really good read. Okay, next book I read was Ayn Rand's Anthem. Ugh. This, well, I'll explain. This is like a dystopian book. The main character is called Equality 7-2521. Basically, this person is supposed to represent society working as a whole, as an equal society. Ayn Rand, she had this philosophy that she developed, which is called objectivism and individualism, which is basically thinking of oneself before others. That's like the short description of it. If you want to know more, you can always go on the internet. There are loads and loads of websites, people talking about this objectivism philosophy. Pretty selfish philosophy from my point of view. And this book, I think it was one of her first so-called literary books that she wrote, which didn't get very much press because nobody ever considered Ayn Rand as a literary writer, because her philosophy was so embedded in her works. And this one is like a brochure. Well, it's a novella. Let's see, it's 105 pages of her philosophy, if you want. So when you start to read this book, you feel like you're being beat upside the head about her philosophy. Now, I have read Fountainhead, which I read twice. I read it for the first time 23 years ago, right when I came to France, and I just read it last year. I think it was the month of October. I read it again for my book club. And this book is much more common, along with Atlas Shrugged. Atlas Shrugged is 1,067 pages long. And this one is 725 pages long. And it as well is based on this philosophy of objectivism. But the only difference is this is more of like a literary story. It's like it's a story. Only problem is all the characters are despicable. So if you can stand to read 723 pages of despicable characters dealing with Ayn Rand's philosophy, objectivism, which is being egotistical, read this. It's actually a good read because it's amazing what some of these people will do. Amazing. But that's a better read than this. This is very short, but it's crap. Well, that's my opinion. All right, next book that I read was 50 Shades of Chicken. Now, I read 50 Shades of Grey. I read all 3 books, and I hated all 3 books. There. Now, I've said it. I read it because I need to make my opinion on my own by reading the book myself. But I read all 3 books, and I just said, "Oh my God, how could this book sell more books than Harry Potter?" I don't know. Anyway, Christmas, let's see, it was the beginning of January. A friend of mine sent me a Christmas present. I didn't know I was going to get this Christmas present. I opened it and it was this one, 50 Shades of Chicken. I thought this book was hilarious. This is like the funniest read ever. It's better than 50 Shades of Grey. Now it's basically a parody of the book. So you have part 1, part 2, part 3. So part 1 is The Novice Bird. Part 2 is Falling to Pieces. Part 3 is Birds Gone Wild. Now, the premise of the book is basically you have a bit of the story in the beginning, like a section with a story. And then the next page is like a recipe. Now, it goes through the entire book this way. And, you know, the writing is pretty funny. I had a really good time reading this. And the recipes are excellent. I've already done 3 recipes out of this book, and they were just very tasty and very easy to do. It even tells you how to tie up a chicken, or should I say truss a chicken. The main character is Mr. 50 Blades. And, of course, Anastasia Steele is Ms. Chicken or Ms. Hen. It's really funny. The Mr. 50 Blades, you never see him really. He is just a picture, let's see if I can find one, of a hunky guy. That's Mr. 50 Blades. And he's trussing Ms. Hen or Ms. Chicken. It's hilarious. I mean, it's a funny gift to give to someone. Here, I'll read you a bit. He's clearly not into me. I wait quietly on the counter and watch his skillful, knowing hands work. Desire pulls way down in my cavity, and in spite of myself, I start to daydream while he preps a radish. He cocks an eyebrow. Penny for your thoughts, Miss Hen. He appears focused on his task, but there's a sly glint in his eye. I flush. Oh, I was just imagining your hands traveling up my thighs and your teeth nibbling my breast. You seem to have a lot of little bowls, I say as calmly as possible. He has arranged a dozen tiny ramekins in an orderly row on the counter. He fills each of them with a spice, an herb, or a chopped ingredient, carefully proportioned from a measuring spoon. You're a very sharp-eyed chicken, he says, and that look returns. I exercise perfect control over everything that happens in this kitchen. I require exactitude from my ingredients. What a control freak, and an arrogant to boot. But the apron he's wearing hangs off his hips in a way that turns my bones to jelly. So what are you whipping up there? I ask hopefully. Well, what I'm whipping up, as you put it, is a salade composée, he says without a trace of humor in his smile. I create experiences. It's my belief that a meal can be a transcendent experience like a Bach concerto. It's all about finesse. I know what makes ingredients tick. I find the best ones and then take them beyond themselves. The bottom line is that it always comes down to ingredients that know what I want. He stares at me intently. All right, so anyway, so you see how it goes. It's a funny parody of the book. It's written by someone called E.L. Fowler. Ha ha ha. We don't know who F.L. Fowler is. It just says that the person is is a chef, and you can tell by the way that the thing is written that it's obviously somebody that knows about cooking. I had a horrible thought. I thought, oh my God, what if it was E.L. James making more money? Ouch. But anyway, that's a really good gift for somebody who hated 50 Shades or for somebody who loved it. It's really good. Next book I read was called Summer Spirit. So I'll put a picture in right here because I read it on my Kindle. All right, I was asked to review this book by Tribute Books. And I really wasn't sure what it was about, but I agreed. And this book, I'm going to give you the general idea. It's about a gay guy who lives in New York, and he is an antique dealer. And he is desperately trying to find a serious, stable relationship. So one day he gets this idea that he's going to take a break and go up to a place that's called Portsmouth. And he was going to rent a house there and spend the summer there and take a break away from the hustle and bustle of New York. In the end, a friend of his, a very good friend from university, decides to go with him, and they rent this house together. Now, I can't tell you the rest because if I tell you the rest, you won't even want to read it. You know. So from there goes an adventure of stuff. Now, this book is definitely not for, under 16 or 17 because it has a lot of graphic sex in the book. Other than that, the book was a short read. I read it in an afternoon. It's only like 123 pages. It's not, the writing is okay. I mean, it's not spectacular, but it's not the worst. But the storyline is kind of different. I mean, I don't think I've read anything like this, but I had to do it for a review, and I gave it 2 stars on Goodreads because I think it's okay. It's like a quick read. So I read that one, and then I read Warm Bodies. Ugh. Now this is, I'm sorry. I know everybody on YouTube is doing reviews on Warm Bodies and saying how much they love it, but I'm sorry. I hated it. I thought it was stupid. I've never read any zombie books, so I was expecting a lot from this, and I thought, okay, this is gonna, get me into the zombie reading. If anything, it put me off. It has a lot of problems with it for me, but I guess it's because I'm older and, I just can't relate to this book. There's things in it that don't make sense to me. And just the thought of dragging around a zombie, trying to make it look like, he's human when it's like probably a 2-year-old smelling body. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, and then the fact that the zombie has all of these, inner feelings and stuff like that, I just thought that was way off for me. Anyway, basically I gave this one star. But that's just me. It's just me. I say read it for yourself to make your decision, whether you like it or not. I know a lot of people like it, though. The movie came out last weekend in the States. I'm not sure when it's due to come out in Europe, especially in France. I don't know if it's going to come out maybe another month or so. I don't know. But I would suggest seeing the movie because the movie seems to be a little bit more lighthearted and much more humoristic than the book. The book has some humor in it, but I don't think it has as much as it seems like the movie's going to have in it. So maybe I'll need to go see the movie, and although I don't think I will. Put your comments below and tell me what you thought about it. I couldn't bear it. But anyway, so those are the 7 books that I read. A full month. I'm not sure this month is going to be so full because it is short month, and a lot of the books that I'm reading are not short. So that's all for my January wrap-up review month. And I will see you tomorrow with the Friday Reads. Bye-bye.